Namam Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhakti-Vidanta Narayana Dinamine Shri Krishna Leela Kathane Sudaksham Audarya Madhurya Gunesha Yuktam Varam Varenyam Purusham Mahantam Narayantam Shirasa Namami Pidandinam Bhakta Shiromanim Cha Shri Krishna Padabja Trute Karudhir Chaitanya Leelamrita Sarasaram Narayanam Tvam Shirasa Namami. First of all, offer my millions of obeisances to lotus feet of Asadi Guru Pad Padma Nitila Pretajet Guru Shishya Bhakti-Vidanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj. Then offer obeisances to lotus feet of Trendi Sannyasi Shishya Bhakti-Vidanta Dandi Maharaj. Namnishta Santa Shri Aniruddha Das Prabhuji. All the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who are gathered here in the accept my humble obeisances. Offer obeisances to lotus feet of Shinrottam Das Thakur, whose holy appearance day we are celebrating today, and the month of Magh Shuddha Panchami, and so very nice auspicious occasion today. The Narottam Das Thakur was the great Acharya who brought the prema to the whole world. He distributed the prema of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through his books like Prem Bhakti Chandrika and Prarthana. So in his book, actually, I was reading just the character of him, and he's telling Gauranga Bali Dehabe Pulaka Sharira Hari Hari Bali Tenayane Babinira Ar Kabinitai Chander Karuna Hebe Sansar Vasana Mora Kabe Tucha Habe Vishaya Chadiya Kabe Shuddha Habe Mana Kabe Amahe Rabba Shri Vrindavana Rupara Gunatha Pade Haibe Akute Kabe Ama Puja Base Jugala Piti Rupara Gunatha Pade Rahumora Asha Pratana Karaye Sada Narottama Dasa. So he's praying like this. When will the detachment come in our heart? So we'll begin our class today. Today is very nice verse. Anna bhavanti parajanya parajanya anna sambhavat yajna bhavanti bhutani yajna karma samudbhavam. Actually, I was reading today Srimad Bhagavatam Sri Bhakti-Vidanta Swami Maharaj, and he was telling that the moon is higher than the earth in the sky. So he was telling that the scientists don't know about it. They have no idea, and they are mentally speculating. Bhagavatam gives us the clear answers. So Bhagavad-Gita also very clearly tells us the truth, nothing but the truth. That's why we are very fortunate to study Bhagavad-Gita, which is the highest scripture in the world. So here, Anna Bhavanti Bhutani Parjanyat Amba Sambhava. Yajnat Bhavanti Parjanyo Yajna Karma Sambhava. So this is actually a verse from Srimad Bhagavad-Gita, the 3rd chapter, 14th verse. Anna Bhavanti Bhutani. So actually, when Swami Maharaj was coming actually to, he was coming to one place in Sanand actually. This is in Gujarat, and he saw many fields on the way, many agricultural fields on the way, and also in Gujarat the tobacco is growing so much because tobacco is called a cash crop. Cash crop because they pay you cash if they purchase tobacco, but tobacco ruins your health. But Swami Maharaj saw many fields growing tobacco. But if you grow tobacco, then Swami Maharaj said you'll be shortage of food grains. Because a lot of land in India is under cultivation of the tobacco fields, tea, coffee, which are unnecessary for the mankind. Lot of actually good fields are in cultivation for sugarcane. Sugar is also a type of slow poison. So, so anyways, the Bhagwan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, said that if you want to make happy and prosperous the people in general, then you must produce anna, food grains. Bhagwan has not said anywhere that you produce tobacco, jute, and other things which are not required at all. So Swami Maharaj is telling us that I saw many fields when I'm coming to this Ananda, but he has not told us to grow tobacco. Tobacco actually gives cancer. Jute also is not required. He said grow the grains. So the whole purpose of this life is to perform yajna. The whole life should be, we should do sacrifice. In the Vishnu Puran, there is a verse, Varna Shrama Acharavata Purushena Parapuman Nanyattatosha Karana. Varnashrata Pumsam Purushena Parapuman Vishnu Aradhyate Pantaha Nanyattatosha Karana. So here it is told that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, is worshipped by the proper execution of prescribed duties in the system of Varna Ashram. There is no other way to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One must be situated in the institution of the four Varnas and Ashramas. So Swami Maharaj is quoting this verse that we should try to do Varnashram Dharma basically. So he's telling this Sananda. So he was quoting this verse. So Anna Bhavanti Bhutani Parjanya Anna Sambhava. Yajna Bhavanti Parjanya Yajna Karma Sambhava. Anna means from grains. Bhavanti grow Bhutani, the material bodies. Now we are present in the food grains, in the form of the soul. When our father will eat the grains, then we enter his body. Parjanyat, from rains, Anna Sambhava. Anna means food grains. So, Attum Yogyamitim Annam. In Sanskrit, actually, if you see how the word, this particular word Annam comes, it is called Attum. Attum means chewed. Something that is to be chewed, that is called Attum. So, something that can be chewed is called grains. So, we are actually inside the grains. We are inside the grains. And how we enter the grains? Then we came down with the rainfall. When rain fell, so many living entities fell with the drops of the rain and enter the grains. Sambhava means production, the production of the food grains. Yajnat, from the performance of sacrifice, bhavati becomes possible parjanya. So how the rain comes? It will come strictly by performing of the fire sacrifice. That's why Daivata Maharaj also told you to Agnihotra Yajna, Sankirtana Yajna. These Yajnas, they help us. If there is no rain, then you do simply Nagar Kirtan. Immediately rain will come. So that's why Bhagavan is telling that if you want rain, you must do my Nama Sankirtan. This is the easiest Yajna. Profuse rain will come where there is drought or famine. So Yajna, performance of Yajna, Karma, prescribed duties, Samatova. So performance of yajna is dependent on karma. So all living bodies subsist on food grains, which are produced from rain. Rains are produced by performance of yajna, sacrifice, and yajna is born of prescribed duties. So Sri Baldev Vidyabhushan, a great commentator on the Bhagavad-Gita, writes as follows: Ye indriya anga tasyavasthitam yajnam sarveshwaram vishnum abhyarchaya Tachesham Ashnati Tena Tadheya Yantram Sampadeyanti Te Santaha Sarveshwarasya Bhaktaha Sarva Kilvisher Anadikal Vivruddher Atmanubhava Pratibandhakair Nikhilahi Prapair Vimuchyante. Sanskrit. The Supreme Lord, who is known as the Yajna Purusha, or the personal beneficiary of all sacrifices, is the master of all demigods who serve him as the different limbs of the body. Serve the whole. So basically, the demigods, they are actually serving Krishna. Who serve him as the different limbs of the body serve the whole. Demigods like Indra, Chandra, Varuna, etc. are appointed officers who manage material affairs. Now, actually, these are very powerful personalities, Indra, Chandra, Surya, Varuna. They have more sense gratification also, but many times they want to take birth in India, so that in on the earth planet, so that they can do bhakti. Because in the heavenly planet, there's so much enjoyment. No one actually is interested in doing bhakti there. It's all about sense gratification, sense gratification. But in the land of India, because there is distress, there are actually so you see that the Supreme Lord, who is known as Yajna Purusha, of the personal beneficiary of all sacrifices, is the master of all demigods, who serve him as the different limbs of the body, serve the whole. Demigods like Indra, Chandra, Varuna, etc. are appointed officers who manage material affairs. They are in charge. And the Vedas direct sacrifices to satisfy these demigods so that they may be pleased to supply air, light, water sufficiently to produce food grains. When Lord Krishna is worshipped, the demigods who are different limbs of the Lord are also automatically worshipped. Therefore, there is no separate need to worship the demigods. And so this is the whole principle of Krishna consciousness. We don't want to worship demigods because by satisfying Krishna, we can satisfy all of them automatically. For this reason, the devotees of the Lord who are in Krishna consciousness offer food to Krishna and then eat a process, eat a process which nurtures the body spiritually. By such action, not only are past sinful reactions all in the body are vanquished, but the body becomes immunized to all contamination of material nature. If there is an epidemic disease, an antiseptic vaccine protects a person from the attack of such an epidemic. Now, this is actually, this book was written maybe for so many years ago, actually, 50 years ago. In 1966, this book was written. But there were epidemics then also, and now there is corona and whatnot, and they're giving vaccine. So vaccination is going on, and that time also there was cholera, and then there was smallpox, chickenpox, and so many vaccines were taken in India. So we were compulsorily given the, I think, smallpox vaccine. Smallpox vaccine was compulsorily given to us. Even now, you can see the marks on my right arm, left arm. I don't even remember, but I must have cried a lot. My mother took me and gave the vaccine. It was compulsory. So similarly, foods offered to the Lord Vishnu and then taken by us make us sufficiently resistant to material affection, and one who is accustomed to this practice is called a devotee of the Lord. So generally we feel material attraction, material affection actually. But when you take prasadam, slowly you become Krishna conscious. Therefore, a person in Krishna consciousness who eats only food offered to Krishna can counteract all reactions of past material infections, which are impediments to the progress of self-realization. On the other hand, one who does not do so continues to increase the volume of sinful action, and this prepares the next body to resemble hogs and dogs, to suffer the resultant reactions of all sins. So you are what you eat. So what we do actually, yatne shikshtasana santam muchyante sarva kilvishay, bhunjate tu agam papam ye pachante tu atmakar. So those who are eating foodstuffs which are not offered to Krishna, then actually then that is actually very like stool. And actually so, and also if you are drinking the water which is not offered to Krishna, then actually that is also like urine, basically. So that is the thing. We should always take prasad. Mahaprasade Govinde Nama Brahmani Vaishnavi Salva Punyavatam Rajan Vishwas Naiva Jayate Sharira Vidyajal Jadendriya Kahika Jibe Phile Vishay Sagar Tara Madhya Jivati Bhavamaya Sudurmati Take Yata Kathina Sansari Krishna Bhadayama Hari Bhare Jivada सर्वसाधन्य लो भाई सही अन्नामृत पाओ राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ प्रेमे दाको श्री चैतन्य जय निमाय जय निताय. So Mahaprabhu's prasad, Krishna's prasad, Gurudev's Mahaprasad, these are actually very important. If we just honor prasad, then we are completely purified of all the contamination. Because this body has so many material desires. We are full of many material desires. But when we take Mahaprasadam, we become free from those material desires. We become free from all these contaminations, and we develop Krishna Bhakti. That's why we have been told that don't eat anything but prasad. Some people say, Dravya Mulena Shuddhet. I will pay for it and then it will be purified, even if it is not prasad. That is okay. But if you are capable, you should try to honor prasad yourself. You should cook yourself, offer to Krishna by your own hands, and then you should honor that prasad. This will save you from material attacks. So food grains or vegetables are factually eatables. The human being eats different kinds of food grains, vegetables, fruits, etc. And animals eat the refuse of the food grains or vegetables, grass, plants, etc. So this is a perfect arrangement. In India, we see that we collect the grass, which is from corn. The grass is for the cows. We collect that. If there is also some millets like pearl millet, this that is for the cows. The hay is for the cows, and we take the grains. So this is a perfect arrangement. The refuse is given to the animals, and human beings take the grains. Human beings who are accustomed to eating meat and flesh must also depend on the production of vegetation in order to eat the animals. So it's not possible that you are simply subsisting on the meat and flesh. But you need also some vegetarian. You may need bread also. You may need also. How can you subsist just on eating fish? Therefore, ultimately, we have to depend on the production of the field and not on the production of big factories. This is the most important thing. Swami Maharaj, he always stressed agriculture. Agriculture will fulfill all our desires. Big factories, they produce pollution and it's a type of exploitation mentality comes from big factories. The field production is due to sufficient rain from the sky, and such rains are controlled by demigods like Indra, sun, moon, etc. And they are all servants of the Lord. So actually, Indra's job is to send rain, but he will send rain by order of Krishna. So if you pray to Krishna, then Krishna will tell the sun to give enough sunlight, moonlight, moonshine. Like I talked to sometimes my friend in Jai Govind Prabhu, who's living in Finland. And he tells me, Maharaj, he said, the sun doesn't give us darshan at all here. Many, many months we cannot see the sun, the Scandinavian countries, So, and I can imagine actually. I went to Russia and no question of seeing the sun at all. I went to Siberia, Siddhar Maharaj, twice I went. And you see that sun in this. When I lived in America also, many months were without the sun because it was so cold in New York. 6 months used to be very cold, and 6 months used to be warm. So like this. So they are all servants of Bhagwan. If Bhagwan will tell them, they will give enough sunlight. But because people perform sinful activities, they don't want to give enough sunlight. The Lord can be satisfied by sacrifices. Therefore, one who cannot perform them will find himself in scarcity. That is the law of nature. So people are now finding scarcity. This is scarce, that is scarce. Then they think that stock market will give us money, or but the stock market has so many scandals, so much speculation activities. So it's like a gambling. What's going on these days? Even more volatile market. Because I used to work on Wall Street. I used to sometimes do contracting for companies like Moody's, Goldman Sachs, Merrill Lynch, bankers like these Wall Street companies. Where many banks were there actually. But our real bank is actually not the Swiss bank or Credit Suisse Bank or our Deutsche Bank. These are not our real banks. Chess Manhattan Bank. These are not our real banks. Our real banks are the food grains, the storage of the food grains. Because you need basically food grains. Somehow or the other, store the food grains as a food security. In India also they are giving food security, means they are giving free grains to the poor people. Modi government extended that food security up to the year 2024 when there is going to be elections. So politicians also know that food is the most important thing. Someone may not have any money, but if he has grains, he's okay. He'll simply somehow boil the grains, collect wood from somewhere, boil the grains. If there is no sabji or even chutney, they will collect some leaves from tamarind or any tree and somehow eat the chapati or rice or whatever it is. So grains are very important, but they should be offered to Krishna, not that you just eat unoffered food. That is not okay. We should always make offering to Krishna, love and affection. And any vegetarian foodstuff should be offered to Krishna. So yajna specifically, the Sankirtan yajna prescribed for this age must therefore be performed to save us at least from scarcity of food supply. So Sankirtan, recently Sri Lanka experienced great scarcity, and India helped Sri Lanka because the neighbor country, Sri Lanka, once actually was a paradise. I remember when I was in school, our teacher used to say that the ideal country is Sri Lanka. And he used to tell us the case study of Sri Lanka. Our teacher, Mr. Bapat, he had so much love and affection for Sri Lanka. He said, ideal country, he used to say. That's a very good development role model, actually. But then God knows what happened. The country completely got ruined, actually. Now India is supplying the grains. So what I'm saying is that the grains is the most important asset. That is nothing like grains. So here, now I'm reading the Srila Gurudev's Bhagavad-Gita. Annat bhavanti bhutani. Parjanyat anna sambhava. Yajnat bhavanti parjanyo yajna karma sambhava. Annat means from grains. Bhavanti develop. Bhutani, all living beings. So you see that there is one ceremony called Anna Prashan. Anna Prashan is the ceremony where the grains are fed to the child who is 6 months old. Sripad Dandi Maharaj, Srila Gurudev also has seen that they used to bring 6-month-old child and then they used to make some sweet rice, offer it to Krishna, and then first spoon feeding was done at the hand of Srila Gurudev or Sripad Dandi Maharaj or any elevated Vaishnava. This is one of the 16 Vedic sanskaras, Anna Prashan. So the body of the child will grow with the grains. Now in India, for the lactating mothers, because in India, mothers are sometimes anemic and they don't themselves have enough breast milk, what they will feed to the children. So Sarkar started, the government of India, the state governments, especially as in Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, the government distributes some the grain supplements actually in a packet, 2 kilo packet, and you just take maybe 2-3 spoons of it and with half glass of water and just mix it nicely, and it becomes like a very good some food. So that mother should take that, even child should be given that. So if you give it to the child will grow nicely. So government is knowing that India is one of the worst record of infant death. Means many children die prematurely. Means 2 months, 3 months old. India is notorious for that. The government of India, especially state governments, are very worried about the infant mortality rate. So they are giving grain. So the point I am making is that the grain is a source of energy. But these grains will come by rain. Without rain, there can be no grain. Obviously, there are some grains which are very intense. Like Dr. Mr. Khadarvalli is talking about 5 types of grain. Sripad Dandi Maharaj also tells about them that these are called millets. They take less water. Means even if it rains twice or thrice in the period of 3-4 months, they will grow. But there are some grains like rice, paddy, they are water intensive. Sugarcane is the most water intensive. Means to make 1 kilo sugar, you need at least 10,000 gallons of water. 10,000 liters of water is required to make 1 kilo of sugarcane. While it takes only 200 liters of water to make 1 kilo of millets. But when I came to South Africa, I was searching for these millets, and I found them in some shop, supermarket, and there it was found under the section of bird food, parakeets and parrots and other birds, their pigeon food. They are giving it to the pigeons, not consuming themselves. Some people in ISKCON, they know it is good and they take quinoa. But the problem, it happened that there was a big debate whether quinoa can be taken on Ekadashi or not. So I used to see big debate. They had one server, mail server in ISKCON, and that is palmho.net, and there used to be forums and they used to always debate back and forth whether you can take quinoa on Ekadashi or not. There was a section they used to say you can take quinoa on Ekadashi, and some used to say don't take quinoa. But in Gaudiya Math, we cannot take quinoa or any foxtail millet or any millet or the shama rice. These are all millets are strictly forbidden. But what we can take is actually grechka. Grechka is a Russian food. That is called buckwheat. Buckwheat is amazing food. And Sripad Dandi Maharaj also wanted to grow buckwheat in India if possible, and expensive food in India, more than 100 to 200 rupees kilo. But in Russia, it's a staple food. Amazing. Actually, when I went to the Russian train, Sridhar Maharaj and Nagari Didi and Krishnadas Prabhu, who has left the world now, we saw that there was actually in the Russian trains, there used to be a boiler. Every train compartment has a boiler. And you just take in a glass the hot boiling water. That may be very hot. If it falls in your hand will be burnt. So maybe 100, more than 100 degrees temperature. And in that you just put, if you have nothing to eat, you can put like 3-4 spoons of grechka in that. It will immediately puff up and you can eat easy. You can offer it to Krishna and immediately eat it. It's such a fast food. You can simply put in that one grechka. But that is good on Ekadashi, buckwheat. In India, you get a powder of that, but they sometimes adulterate it with the wheat powder, and then you cannot take grechka or buckwheat powder on Ekadashi. But if you get a proper grechka, it's perfectly okay. You can make jaggery and milk add to it, and it is a perfect Ekadashi preparation. You can just boil it and put rock salt in it and some black pepper, and it's very tasty. No problem. Ekadashi day you can take that. It is not a grain actually, but it is still considered a staple food. So yajnat bhavanti parjanya, but we have to do yajna. I remember that once there was no rain in Hyderabad, and they told Bhakti-Vidanta Swami Maharaj that you have collected many disciples and you are engaging them in Nagar Sankirtan and Krishna Bhakti. But Hyderabad means Andhra Pradesh region. Now it is divided. Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, 2 states have formed. And Hyderabad went to the newly formed state called Telangana. So there is so much famine in this area, and you are doing only kirtan and devotional service. You should collect some food grains, and you should also use your own funds to feed the people here, the grains. But Sai Maharaj actually told him that he told his disciples that you do kirtan, you do nice kirtan, and immediately what will happen? The rain will come. And then he sent Sankirtan parties. There were many devotees, maybe Bhakti-Vidanta Maharaj, who was actually devotee from Africa, black devotee. Bhakti-Vidanta Maharaj, but very learned. And I think he was there. And Swami Maharaj, many disciples were sent to do Sankirtan. And then what happened that rain came. So actually, there was once a lecture he spoke about this famine. There was a famine in India in 1942, big famine. I particularly inquired among the disciples of my Guru Maharaj, even the remote village. They said that we have no difficulty. So actually, that was Swami Maharaj is telling. There was a famine in India in 1942, big famine. I particularly inquired among the disciples of my Guru Maharaj. His Guru Maharaj is Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj. And even the remote village, they said we have no difficulty. And there was a havoc, earthquake in Bihar, sometime in 1933 or that. And one of our godbrother, Mr. Munshi Chatterjee, when he heard that quarter is completely demolished, so he was in office. He was thinking, what shall I do by going home? There is no more home. Everything is. Then he said, let me go and see. And when he came there, only his house was left. Only his house. All house dismantled. All houses dismantled. The only, so Kaunteh Pratyanimi Name Bhaktya Pranashati. That we have seen in many instances. So you see here, Sai Maharaj is quoting one memory that when there was actually an earthquake, then his godbrother, disciple of Srila Bhakti-Siddhanta Prabhupada, Mr. Munshi Chatterjee, his house remained intact. All other houses were demolished. And also it was seen that there was a tsunami time also. Many temples survived the tsunami. Many temples survived actually. So this is the power of Nama Sankirtan. Because the devotees, Krishna says that I protect my devotees. So when famine came in 1942, wherever the disciples of Srila Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada were residing, there was a profuse rain. They did not feel the difficulty at all. So this is the thing. that when we do Nam Kirtan, Krishna will certainly protect us. So we should not worry about this actually. So actually in Hyderabad also Prabhupada simply did Nama Sankirtan and immediately rain came. So here all living beings are born of food grains which are produced from rain. Rains fall because of the performance of sacrifice. And sacrifice is born of the performance of prescribed duties. Sarada Varshini, this is from Vishwanath Thakur Pada. Shri Bhagavan says it is still desirable to perform sacrifice yajna because it maintains the cycle of action in this material world. To express this, Shri Bhagavan speaks the verse beginning with Annat. Living entities are produced from food grains. Thus, food grains are the cause of the living entities. Grain is transformed into blood, which then turns into semen. This in turn forms the body of the living entity. So you see that the grains are eaten by a father, and then it becomes his blood. Grain is also eaten by the mother. And as a result of this blood, when the blood will condense, it will become semen. It takes about 40 drops of blood to make 1 drop of semen. The semen is so powerful. And then mother will develop the eggs. And then the combination of this semen and the egg, the sperms, and there is the baby's form. So clouds are the source of food grains which are produced from rain. Clouds are very important. Sacrifice is the cause of the clouds. So if you want clouds, rain clouds, then you have to do sacrifice. Because when sacrifice is performed, sufficient rain clouds are produced. Now this is actually very clear. Sripad Dandi Maharaj also told many times, every day he does sacrifice. Rain or shine, Maharaj is there doing Agnihotra. Now the question comes, and then there is also profuse rain. This year there was so much rain in Bangalore that people were going by boats to their offices in Bangalore for 2-3 days. And Hosur also, adjacent to Bangalore, they tell me that this year there was too much rain. No more excess rain. Maharaj was also telling that too much rain this time. But he does sacrifice every day, and there is no short of rain actually. All the lakes are full. There is plenty of water. So, anyways, the clouds are the source of food and grains, which are produced from rain. Sacrifice is the cause of the clouds. And because when sacrifice is performed, sufficient rain clouds are produced. The cause of the sacrifice is the performance of prescribed action. Because a sacrifice is perfectly executed with the priest of the sacrifice and the person on whose behalf the sacrifice is performed, both perform the prescribed karma. So actually, sacrifice, essentially there are actually 4 priests are there. They are called Ritviks. And they are actually called Hota. Hota, Udgata, Ardhuryu, Brahma, like this. So Swami Maharaj is actually quoting this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 2.6, Purush Sakta confirmed. To perform a sacrifice successfully, at least 4 expert priests are needed. One who can offer, means one who is doing the ghee offering, is called Hota. One who can chant, Udgata, one who chant mantras. One who can kindle the sacrificial fire without aid of separate fire. That is called Adhvaryu. Adhvaryu. Adhvaryu means they actually don't use any matchsticks or anything. Now I think such persons are very rare actually, who can kindle without matchstick. But Adhvaryu, one who institutes an Adhvara is called priest. So Monier Williams dictionary says that this is one who Adhvaryu, or it is said, after dictionary says that an officiating priest technically distinguished from Hotru, Udratru and Brahman. His duty was to measure the ground, build the altar, prepare sacrificial vessels, to fetch wood and water, to light the fire, and to bring the animal and immolate it. While doing this, to repeat the Yajurveda, Hota Prathamam Shamsati Tabadhvaryu Protahayati. So actually they say that animal, but not that all sacrifices would have animal. Basically, the best offering is the ghee and grains. So anyways, and mantra. Mantra is also required. So anyways, so 4 priests are required, and one who can supervise Brahma. One who can supervise this, all 3 of their activities called Brahma. Such sacrifices were conducted from the birth of Brahma, the first living creature, and were carried out till the reign of Maharaj Yudhishthira. But such expert Brahmana priests are very rare in the age of corruption and quarrel. And therefore, the present age, only the yajna of chanting the holy name of the Lord is recommended. The scriptures enjoin Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam, Kalo Nasteva, 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 Gatirandata. In this age of Kali, there is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. So we need the priest. We need the priest actually to do sacrifices. So Hota Adhvaryu Udgata Brahma. And there is Yajaman. Yajaman means the host, the one who's on his behalf the yajna is being done. Now yajna may be Sakam or Nishkam. Sakam yajna means you need a son, or you want a daughter, or you want to get married or something, whatever, some material desire. Or you want to elevate yourself to the heavenly planet, whatever it is. It's Sakam yajna, but it's Nishkam yajna also. So Sanatana Varshini Prakashika Vritti, this is Srila Gurudeva's commentary on this verse. Ritvik, a priest who performs sacrifice in different seasons. So Ritvika, the word Ritvika is a loaded word. Ritvika, a word comes from Ritu. In India, there are 6 Ritus. Now recently, on Vasanta Panchami day, about 15 days ago, that Vasanta Panchami day, this Rutu, Vasanta Rutu came, which is the king of all Rutus. Rutu means season. Generally speaking, in India, we are in the Western world, we say there is cold season, there is summer season, and there is rainy season. Only 3 seasons we think of. But also in Western world, also they say autumn is there, autumn, then spring, like this. So like this, so they accept some seasons, 3, 4 seasons, 5 seasons. But in India, we accept 6 seasons. So in all these seasons, sacrifice is done. So when you perform sacrifice in Ritu, it's called Ritvik. The word Ritvik is coming from word Ritu, season. All seasons will perform sacrifice. Agne Dheyam, Pakayajnam, Agnishtomadikan Makhan, Yah Karoti Bruto Yasya, Sat Tasad Twig Uchachate. When you feeds the fire god through the performance of fire sacrifice is called Ritvika. So fire god actually is the tongue of Bhagavan, mouth of Bhagavan, fire god. So fire god is actually the tongue of, he accepts the offerings. Srila Bhakti-Vidanta Vishnu Daivata Maharaj, he used to call him Pian, Chaprasi, means like a courier. From one office, there is a letter to be dispatched. Suppose there is a finance office and there is also marketing office. So a letter has to be dispatched from the finance department about the expenses spent on marketing or balance sheet or capital outlay or whatever for marketing department. Then they'll call a peon. Marketing manager will call the finance manager will call the peon, CFO or chief financial officer. They said, go take this letter and give it to the marketing manager. So that peon messenger will take that letter. So fire god is like that. He is like a peon. And he will carry the offerings and give to the respected demigods who are recipient of that. So fire god, that is there is like a peon among them. So one who feeds the fire god to the performance of fire sacrifice is called Ritvik. But fire god will not consume everything. He will give it to the other deities. That is understanding. There are 4 prominent Ritviks in the performance of sacrifice. The Hota, one who chants the mantras of the Rig Veda. Number 2 is Adhvaryu, one who chants the mantras of the Yajurveda. Now, Yajurveda mantras, Adhvaryu will chant it. And now this particular Rupa, Sri Bhardwaj Gotra and Yajurvedi Brahman. There are some Brahmanas or Yajurvedi Brahman. So some are Rigvedi Brahmanas. So Brahma, one who chants the mantras of the Atharva Veda. And then Adgata, one who chants the mantras of the Sam Veda. So basically all the 4 I'll chant the mantras of the different Vedas, Sam Veda. Karma Brahma Bhavam Vidhi. So this particular verse is amazing verse actually. It is a big science. Many people ask where the living entities come from, and then they come from the rain, enter into grains. Grains are eaten by the father, and then the living entities are born like that. So basically, this is the science which is explained in this verse. It's a very nice verse. Vidhi Brahmakshara Samudbhavam Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma Nityam Yakya Pratishtita. Karma is called prescribed duties. Everyone has some prescribed duties. For a Kshatriya, the management is prescribed duties. Brahmana, you should recite Vedas. You are supposed to do your prescribed duties. Brahma, from Brahma or the Vedas. Brahma is the loaded word. Brahma means it may be Krishna, Brahma means Jiva, Brahma means the Vedas. But Krishna is generally called Parabrahma. Brahma means spiritual, basically. So Vedas are spiritual. So Brahma, Udbhavam, originate. Vidhi, you should know that Brahma, the Vedas, Akshara, from Achyuta, the infallible Supreme Lord. Basically, Kshara and Akshara, fallible and infallible. The Jivas, they are Kshara, and Krishna is Akshara, he is infallible. We are fallible because we are Tatastha Shakti, we are coming from Maya Shakti. So sometimes we may come under the sway of this illusory potency. So we are Kshara. But Krishna is Akshara. In India, when they go to school, we used to say Aksharamala. Aksharamala means A, I, U, E, I, O, Aha. Go, 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 cho, 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 jo, do, 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 no, no, to, to, do, do, po, 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 you're all a workshop. So these are all like you see, you study in English language, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. They are all aksharas. In Sanskrit, the alphabets, we call them as aksharas. Because why they are called akshara? They are called akshara because Narayana Udbhutoyam Varnakrama. All these syllables have come from Narayana. So they are all actually different nomenclature of Krishna only. So they are akshara. So Bhagavan is called infallible Supreme Lord, akshara. Samudbhavam, originate. Originate, tasmat, for this reason, sarvagatam, all pervading, Brahma, the supreme absolute truth. Here the word Brahma means, you see, one place the Brahma means the Vedas, but here the Brahma means the supreme absolute truth. Nityam, always, yagye, in sacrifice, pratishtita. So know that such duties are prescribed within the Vedas. So Vedas are told us some duties. Whether you are Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Sannyasi, Grastha, Vanaprastha, whatever ashram varna you have to follow the Vedic injunctions. Like Srila Gurudev was telling about Manu Samhita. And he said that they asked him, is the Sanskrit the best language? Then Gurudev said, yes, Sanskrit is the best language because it is the mother of all language. Kannada language which Shripa Danti Maharaj speaks, or Tamil language which Bhutikant Prabhu speaks, or Marathi I speak, and other devotees, Bengali. So like this, Bhakti Pragyan Kishore Goswami Maharaj speak. But mother of all these languages is Sanskrit. And all these languages, they are the daughters, and they have many, many words from Sanskrit. In Russian language also, there are many, many Sanskrit words. So actually, they should tell me like that. In English also, you see, many words are coming from Sanskrit. They are the origin in Sanskrit. So Sanskrit is the best language actually. Gurudev is telling, because all the Manu Maharaj, he gave us that Manu Samhita, which is the code of conduct for all the human beings. Swami Maharaj says that it is the law book for all mankind. It is supported that a murderer should be condemned to death, so that in his next life he will not have to suffer for the great sin he has committed. Now see, Manu Samhita, this book, law book actually, original law book, he said that anyone who has committed a murder should not be shown any compassion, he should be hanged. Now actually, the king's punishment of hanging a murderer is actually beneficial. So actually, when you hang that person, he will not have to suffer in next lifetime. So Manu Samhita, which is the code of conduct, the law book, is also written in Sanskrit language. So there are so many scriptures which are written in Sanskrit language. So here, know that such duties are prescribed within the Vedas, and that the Vedas originate from Bhagavan Achyuta. So Vedas, they're coming from Narayana. So Vedas is the source is Narayan. They are Apurusheya. Apurusheya means they are not written by any human being, but they are directly spoken by Lord Narayan himself. They are the exhalation. When he inhales and exhales, the Vedic hymns came out. Therefore, the all-pervading absolute truth is always situated in the performance of Yajna. So, all-pervading truth is called Akshara Brahma. Akshara Brahma is always in the sacrifice. Means Sri Krishna is always present in the performance of sacrifice. The Vedas only are the cause of that prescribed action. Because sacrifice is performed only after hearing the Vedic injunctions. Like, for example, previously, not knowing so much about sacrifice. But my father, I remember, used to perform Vaishwadher Yajna, means he used to offer some rice in fire sacrifice before honoring food. And then we see many sacrifices people do with different injunctions. But we do as per the Satkriyasar Dipika, and we make offerings to the great Vaishnavas and incarnations of Sri Krishna. We don't make offerings to demigods, because automatically when we make offerings to eternal associates of Krishna, Ramchandra, and incarnations of Krishna, they automatically are satisfied. Because if Krishna is satisfied, his devotees, pure devotees are satisfied, no doubt that everyone will be automatically satisfied. So Achyuta, the infallible absolute reality, is the cause of the Vedas, because they originated from the Supreme. So Vedas are coming from the Sri Krishna. In this regard, it is said in the Veda, Shrutis, Asya Mahato Bhutasya Nishwasitam Etat Rug Vedo Yajurveda Sam Vedo Atharvangisaha. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is telling in the 4.5.11, the Rug Veda, Yajurveda, Sam Veda, and Atharva Veda are the breath of the Mahapurusha. If Lord will breathe, then that is his 4 Vedas commenting from that. Therefore, the all-pervading Supreme Lord is present in acts of sacrifice or yajna. This statement also establishes that one can attain the Supreme by sacrifice. Although a connection of cause and effect has been shown here by linking food grains to Brahma, still the scriptures describe that only sacrifice is the governing factor and only sacrifice is glorified. Manusmriti also says, oblations offered in the fire reach Surya Dev, the sun god. From the sun comes rain, and from rain comes food grains, and from food grains progeny is born. So basically, it's a cycle. Manusmriti, they say that oblations offered in the fire reach the Surya Dev. So we make any offering, we will take a Surya. The sun god will evaporate the water and will form the clouds. And then the clouds will give the rains. And from rain comes the food grains, and from food grains, progeny is born. So everything is coming from Yajna. Yajna is the source of the grains, directly or indirectly. And children are also born from Yajna. So, Sararth Varshini Prakashika Vritti, Udyamastha Sada Lakshmi. Udyamastha Sada Lakshmi. This is actually one type of proverb in India. This is called Subhashitam. Subhashitam means good advice, which is given to the people. So there are many subhashitas like that. If you want money, then you have to do some business. So there is actually this says that you simply don't sleep. You do something, then automatically money will come. This is what is told. So in India, many times people have some money problem. People are poor, but you take simply purchase some vegetables and go door to door, some money will come. People will purchase vegetables from you or fruit from you, something like that, So if you want money, then you must endeavor for it. I also remember that, sometimes in Americas also, I used to go out with some books of Srila Gurudev and used to collect some donations. Even in America also, some money used to come. Even now, if I would go out with books of Srila Gurudev, some pamphlets, and sell them, then money will come. But actually, that money is used again for printing books. We don't use it for sense gratification. It was Srila Gurudev's direct order, even for Grahasthas. I remember he told Grahasthas that don't do any other business. You simply distribute books, and any profit will come, you keep it. for your family maintenance, because you have to maintain your wife and children. But instead of selling, say, popcorn, or selling some mobile phones or batteries, or grains, or oil, or land, or real estate, you sell my books, he said. Give free of charge, or even at a profit, a little profit, for your family maintenance. No harm. But distribute my books. Whoever will read my books, they will benefit. And your family will also be maintained. So this was the ideal. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj also, he formed many parties. And there is also one Radha Damodar Sankirtan party. And there many grihasthas were joined that on the bus. The children were admitted to Gurukul in Dallas. There was a Gurukul in Dallas. So they have nothing to worry about the children. And they used to go across the length and breadth of America. And then they used to distribute the books of there was one Swamiji, Vishnu Swami was there, Tamal Krishna Maharaj. So many they were there in this one. And they used to have Radha Damodar deities along with them. I think they are now in Dallas Temple, to Radha Damodar Sankirtan party. The Swami Maharaj, all sannyasis and Matajis also, they used to join actually. Matajis handed over their children to Gurukul teacher, and then they used to go on preaching like this. And due to their sacrifice, so much preaching happened in America. So this is the thing actually. So even Param, so this one actually we read the purport of so Udyamastha Sadalakshmi. Wealth always resides in the endeavor. Similarly, the all-pervading Supreme is always situated in the sacrifice. If you want to see the Supreme Lord, you have to do sacrifice. It can be either sacrifice with the ghee, like Sripad Danti Maharaj does in the morning, Agnihotra. That is also very good. And also, you have to do Nama Sankirtan, which also Sripad Danti Maharaj actively tells us to do. And Sripad Danti Maharaj told me that, you do Maharaj just Kirtan every day, morning, 2 hours. Your all desires will be fulfilled. I said, all right. So Maharaj used to do sacrifice, and I used to sit in front of deities and used to sing Mahamantram and Shlokas, 1 hour, 2 hours. And then really I saw that, a lot of resources started coming to me so that I could preach better. I saw the power of that Sankirtan. So Maharaj used to do sacrifice, 10 minutes, is Agnihotra sacrifice. After that, he used to chant Gayatri Mantra and used to do Japa. Japa is also Yajna. What Sripad Danti Maharaj was doing in the morning, that is also one type of Yajna. Yajnanam Japa Yajnosmi. And future verse in Bhagavad-Gita, it will come that among all types of sacrifices, I am the Japa Yajna. With the Japa we are doing is also Yajna, sacrifice. And then there is Sankirtan Yajna, which is loud chanting of Kirtan, which I used to do, sitting there in front of the deity in Ranganath Gaudiya Math. So that is actually also sacrifice. By engaging in sacrifice and righteous acts, the jiva not only becomes free from sin but can attain the Supreme. So one is actually Nama Sankirtan. If you do, then we become free from sins. Knowingly or unknowingly, we commit so many sins. So we become free from the sins and attain the Supreme Lord also. So this is the easy sacrifice in Bhagavad. So we are at the purport of Srila Bhakti, Srila Guru Maharaj Ji, and now we'll Vishnu Thakur Pad also, and then we'll read now the Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj purport. Karma Brahmodbhavam Viddhi, Brahmakshara Samudbhavam, Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma, Nityam Yajna Pratisthita. Karma means work. Work is worship. Many people say work is worship. This is actually okay. Work is worship. The many people tell us that, Maharaj, go get a job. Or Brahmaji, Vaishnavas, we go on preaching. They say, work is worship. Go and get a job. Go get a job. They tell Hare Krishna devotees also. But we tell them that for you, work is worship. But for us, worship is the work. That means our work is to worship the Lord. That's our work. That's our duty. For you, work is worship, but for us, worship is our work. So Brahma from the Vedas, Udbhavam produced Vidhi, you should know, Vidhi. You see the Vidhi, from the word Vidhi also Veda, Vid Dhatu, to know. Vid means to know, Veda, Vidhi. Brahma, the Vedas, Akshara from the Supreme Brahman, personality of Godhead, Samudbhavam, directly manifested. Tasmat, therefore, Sarvagatam, all-pervading, Brahma, the transcendence, Nityam, eternally, Yagye, in sacrifice, Pratishtitam, situated. Regulated activities are described in the Vedas, and the Vedas are directly manifested from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Consequently, the all-pervading transcendence is eternally situated in acts of sacrifice. Yajnartha karma, or the necessity of work for the satisfaction of Krishna, only is more expressly stated in this verse. If we have to work for the satisfaction of the Yajna Purusha, Vishnu, then we must find out the direction of work in Brahman or the transcendental Vedas. Yajna Purusha. Yajna Purusha means the personality who is the recipient of sacrifice. Yajna Purusha. The Vedas are there for codes of working directions. Anything performed without the direction of the Vedas is called Vikarma. Now, this is actually the thing. Unauthorized or sinful work. Vikarma. We should not engage in Vikarma, which is without authority of the Vedas. In India, there is something going on called live-in relationships. Live-in relationship means you simply start staying with your girlfriend and boyfriend and not married, without marriage. And they associate with very closely with each other. And I see in the news, so many problems are coming due to live-in relationships. Now, because it is not sanctified by the marriage bond, which is a very sacred bond. You take a vow in front of the fire god, Gurudev, Brahmana, that you will maintain your wife and you will practice dharma. But in live-in relationship, there is only sense gratification. So as a result, there are many problems are coming in the society. That is Vikarma. So therefore, one should not go against the dictation of the Vedas. The Vedas tell us, before marriage, there should be no association between young boy and young girl. They should follow these rules. Therefore, one should always take direction from the Vedas to be saved from the reaction of work. If you follow the Vedic injunctions, then no reaction to work. For example, we are boiling grains like rice or paddy. Paddy is dehusking. The paddy is covered with a husk. You dehusk the paddy, then you get the rice. So when you dehusk the paddy, the grain is dead because the rice cannot sprout. So literally dehusking or boiling rice is killing so many grains. But we don't get the sinful reaction from that because we're cooking it for Krishna. This is the beauty of agriculture. You are doing the sin, but you are not sinning because when your focus is Krishna, cooking for Krishna, then no sin will come. But if I eat rice, not offering to Krishna, then it will be like killing so many cows. Because there is no difference in killing cow and eating unoffered rice. Because either it is sin of killing. Killing is involved even in vegetarian food. So therefore, we must offer the vegetarian food also to Krishna. So many people say, I am vegan, so I don't take milk products, but I take, grains. That is vegan diet. There is also vegetarian diet. But we are neither vegan nor vegetarian. We are Krishnatarian. Means we take Krishna Prasad only. So as one has to work in ordinary life by the direction of the state, similarly one has to work under the direction of the supreme state of the Lord. Such directions in the Vedas are directly manifest from the breathing of the Supreme Personality of God. It is said, Asya Mahat Bhutasya Nishritam Etat Yad Rugveda Yajurveda Sam Vedo Atharvangirasa. The four Vedas, namely the Rugveda, Yajurveda, Samveda, Atharveda, are all emanations from the breathing of the great personality of Godhead. The Lord being, now this is this is the thing. When we exhale, sometimes I sleep, then people say, Maharaj, you snore. There was one devotee, Krishnadas Prabhu, is a good singer. But it was a nightmare sleeping next to him because he used to snore like anything. There may be some problem, but a good solution for snoring is you put the ghee drops in your nose, one drop of ghee, pure cow ghee. But snoring is a common problem. But Bhagwan, when he exhales, the Vedas come out. And his exhalation is not like our exhalation. The scientists, they will inhale oxygen, we exhale carbon dioxide. But Bhagwan's exhalation is from Vedas are coming. And Tulsi, they will exhale, oxygen will come out. Tulsi, the plant which gives out oxygen only. People, the banyan tree or the sacred fig tree also gives out oxygen 24 hours a day. Because they're all actually not different from Bhagwan. Tulsi is also manifestation of Krishna only, his potency, pure devotee. That's why Tulsi plant should. Cow also, Sripad Dandi Maharaj told me that cow, it inhales oxygen and gives out oxygen. Means there's so much oxygen in the ghee. When you do sacrifice, when Sripad Dandi Maharaj does sacrifice in the morning, actually people who sit next to that Agnihotra, they feel highly rejuvenated. Because so much gallons and gallons of pure oxygen is coming out. So once they wanted to do 1,000 or maybe 10,000 or 1 lakh, 100,000 Kunda Yagyas in Kolkata. There were some Marwadis they wanted to do, with cow dung patties and ghee, they wanted to do very big yagya with so many funeral, with so many sacrificial pits, yagya kundas, hundreds, thousands. But government of Bengal, which was like communist government, they said that if you do such a big sacrifice with 1,000 sacrificial pits or 10,000 sacrificial pits or 100,000 sacrificial pits, then there will be so much pollution in Kolkata because so much smoke will come out. So they told that, okay, let's do one sacrifice with cow dung and ghee. That's all. No other ingredients. So much smoke will come, no doubt about it. But we'll measure the pollution level before doing the sacrifice and after doing the sacrifice in a test scenario. So they did one sample sacrifice and they found that after doing the sacrifice, the pollutants like carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, and other harmful ingredients in the atmosphere had disappeared. And there were more oxygen. Although smoke was more, but it had not made the atmosphere impure, but rather had reduced the pollution layer and reduced the harmful gases from the air. So you see that that's what is Agnihotra. So Dandi Maharaj, he said, so much actually there's forming the societies, Agnihotra societies all over the world. They getting rid of radiation, nuclear radiation, and mobile tower radiation, and all that are counteracted by this Agnihotra. I have a very big report actually. Very, very big report Sripad Dandi Maharaj compiled, and I also edited that. And I was stunned actually that fire sacrifice is so important, so important. One girl, she had very tough skin condition, like mother, you felt that video also. She was mother, she crying how her daughter suffered, she's crying. And no doctor, allopathy doctor could actually cure her skin ailment. It was a very typical and unique condition. And whole face looked very ugly because of the skin condition. Then someone told her that you just do sacrifice with cow dung patties and ghee and ashes you should apply to the skin of your daughter's body. So she applied that ashes, cow dung ashes, that sacrifice ashes, Agnihotra ashes to the body, and then you cannot believe that girl now looks so pretty and very nice skin. Means completely healed. You see that YouTube video. Mother is crying, remembering what her daughter went through actually. So when I was stunned, when I saw it, I was stunned. I said, "Wow, this is so great. This is so great." So the whole point is actually these Vedic sacrifices, especially with the ghee and all, and with chanting of the Maha Mantra or Vedic mantra, is very, very powerful. No doubt about it. So, in other words, the Lord can speak through his breathing and he can impregnate by his eyes. He senses the actions of all the senses. So, the Lord, being omnipotent, can speak by breathing air. It is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita, for the Lord has the omnipotence to perform through each of his senses actions of all the senses. In other words, the Lord can speak through his breathing and he can impregnate by his eyes. Now, he can speak by his breathing. So, Anganiyasa sakalindriya vrittimanti pashyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti. And chinmaya sadujala vigrahasya govinda mahari purusham tamangajan. So, Bhagavan, he glanced at the material nature and he impregnated the material nature. And so many living entities like us are born from the material nature. This is due to the glance of Mahavishnu. So Bhagavan can father so many children by just glancing at the material nature. After creating or impregnating the conditioned souls into the womb of material nature, he gave us directions in the Vedic wisdom as to how such conditioned souls can return home back to Godhead. So the father actually means Pita na sasyat, Janani na sasyat, Daivam na sasyat, na mochet. yavat samapeta mrityam gurum nasasya. You cannot be a guru, mother, father, or a demigod if you cannot deliver your dependence. So Bhagavan, he gave birth to the living entities, but he also gave us a formula how we can return back home, back to God. How we can return back home. So Vedas are the books, the textbooks which teach us how to return to the spiritual world in the lap of eternal Father Krishna. Having finished his so-called enjoyment. Actually, there is no real enjoyment in this world. This material world is actually all suffering. So it is a chance for the conditioned souls to attain liberation. This material human form of life is not wasted, should not be wasted. It is to attain liberation. Therefore, the conditioned souls must try to follow the process of yajna by becoming Krishna conscious. We all should do yajna. If you can do fire sacrifice, that is very well and good. But if it is not available, cow dung patties are not available, then you can do some Nama Sankirtan. That is also fine. Especially in Kali Yuga, Nama Sankirtan is very powerful. Even those who cannot follow the Vedic injunctions may adopt the principles of Krishna consciousness, and that will take the place of performance of Vedic yajnas karmas. So if you cannot follow the Vedic injunctions, that you cannot arrange for 4 Brahmanas, Hota, Advaryu, Udgata, Brahma, who will chant 4 Vedas for you. You cannot have a big canopy and a lot of ghee and cow dung patties and 5 different types of woods and all. So if this scarcity, then you can simply, wherever you are, in China, Russia, South Africa, Europe, England, Trinidad, or wherever you are, just chant, clap and chant the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. That is sufficient. No need to worry that you're all everything will be taken care. You do the sacrifice. So that's why Prabhupada, Bhakti-Vidanta Swami Maharaj, he told us. But actually the problem is that yajna means to satisfy the yajna Purusha, Narayan or Bhagavan. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Prahlada Maharaj says that Nati vidu swartha gatim vishnu tunashaye bhairartha mahina andha yathande upaniyamanas tepisha tantrayam uttam nibaddha. The people do not know that the aim of life is to approach Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. That is the aim of life. Vishnu aradhate panta nanya tattoshikara. So in order to satisfy Vishnu, Krishna, we should do Sankirtan Yajna. So that's why we are doing Sankirtan Yajna, and also some Vedic Yajna is also done after initiation with fire sacrifice, every day to purify the atmosphere and to satisfy the Supreme Lord. So like this, especially Agnihotra is recommended because people will not understand the importance of cows and they should do fire sacrifice like that. How cow dung actually becomes ashes. That ash is also cancer treatment. Very good cancer treatment. So how beneficial the cow is. Cow urine can cure so many diseases. And also Panchagavya ghee, put in the nostril, it will reduce snoring, nourish the brain, put in the eye, and then it will remove the cataract and glaucoma. So cow is all useful. And that's why Krishna worships the cows and Brahmanas. Hare Krishna. Panchakalpatarvesha kripa sindhubhaicha paritanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Thandas. Hare Krishna. So I'll give Jetwani.
Thank you so much for that. Sorry, Marge, you stopped at verse 15.
Yeah, we are very much ended this verse 3:15. Today we covered 3:14 and 3:15. So next time we'll easily begin on 3:16. Evam pravartitam chakram nanu varteti 3:16. 3.16.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you. Sure.
Hare Krishna. जय श्री गुरु गौरांग गंधर्विका गिरधारी श्री राधा विनोद जी की जय। इनकला प्रतिष्ठित गुरु शिष्य भक्तिदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज गुरुदेव की जय। तुलापृष्ठम विष्णुपाद शिष्य भक्तिदांत वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। तुलापृष्ठम विष्णुपाद शिष्य भक्तिदांत त्रिविक्रम गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। तुलापृष्ठम विष्णुपाद शिष्य गौरविंद गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। तुलापृष्ठम विष्णुपाद शिष्य भक्तिदांत स्वामी महाराज की जय। आचार्य केशरी शिष्य भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। तुलापृष्ठम विष्णुपाद शिष्य भक्तिदांत स्वामी महाराज की जय। श्री श्रीमद भक्ति श्री सिद्धांति गोस्वामी महाराज की जय, सपरिकर श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती प्रभुपाद ठाकुर की जय, प्रेम से श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, ठाकुर नरोत्तम प्रभु की जय, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपी गोवर्धन वार्षवनात्मक मंडल की जय, हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, त्रिंडी स्वामी शिष्य भक्तिदाता दंडी महाराज की जय, नामनिष्ठ संत श्री अनिरुद्ध दास प्रभु की जय, समागत भक्त वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल. Anyone has any comments or questions, you can ask me. Hare Krishna. If there are no questions or comments, then I can. Then we'll have a class tomorrow also. There is, I think, Madhuri Kadamini, right? Madhuri Kadamini class. And then on Tuesday, then we're having Daivata Maharaj, right, Vidi?
Yes, Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Sripad Bhakti-Vidanta Vishnu Daivata Maharaj Ki Jai, Vanshakapati Vyasya, Vipasini Vyavacha Patitanam Bhavani Vyavaishnava.
Thank you, Shaita. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj, so much for attending.
Yes, yes. So there is actually a lot of information is I'm also benefiting because it increases. Today I was thinking that I went on Nagar Kirtan and I was thinking that what is without Bhagavad Gita, I thought what is the use of human life? I'm thinking that I had no information. Who am I? What is my relationship with Krishna? And all this information is coming only from Bhagavad Gita. That's why in India, the Hindu people and all the followers of Sanatana Dharma, they highly respect Gita. Because such a small book, but has such information, everything you have to know about life is there in Bhagavad Gita. Srila Gurudev also, that's why he wrote very big Bhagavad Gita. When I was in America, I was taking ISKCON temple at Brooklyn. And I got a copy of Srila Gurudev's English Gita from Sham Sundar Prabhu, who had taken shelter of Srila Gurudev. And when I read this Gita, I was stunned. I got two books actually. I got biography of Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj. I think it was in English or maybe Hindi. I got a Hindi copy, and in Bhagavad Gita I got in maybe English. And it was a thick Bhagavad Gita, blue cover. And I said, wow, so much information. I was so attracted. I said, this is the book I want to read again and again and again and again. So much. And every time I read Srila Gurudev's Gita, so much new treasure comes. And I read Gurudev's books like online, Venu Geet and all. And I was stunned. I said, so much information, such nice books. This whole life can be spent by reading these books, meditating on these books. We should try to honor Bhagavad Gita. We should not belittle Bhagavad Gita. Because regularly Bhagavad Gita should be studied. It is the essence of all the Vedic scriptures. We are very fortunate to have such a great scripture among us. So Bhagavad Gita is a very, very important scripture. Bhakti will immediately begin. Bhakti will immediately begin if you study Bhagavad Gita properly. Bhakti you can start. It is a basic book actually, but it's very, very important. Should be diligently studied. Gita Upanishad. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much for attending. Thank you, dear viewers, for attending. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Jai, Jai, Jai. Dandas, Visakhriti ki Jai. Dandas. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. All glories to you. All glories to your wonderful service. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.